Hello everybody. Today I am going to discuss about the volatile oil which comes under secondary metabolites of plants. This volatile oil chapter comes under pharmacokinetics and phytochemistry 2 of unit 2 in B Pharm 5th semester according to Pharmacy Council of India syllabus. So let me start. Volatile oils are odorous principles. As they evaporate when they are exposed to air at ordinary temperatures, they are also called as ethereal oils. They represent essence or active constituents of the plant, hence they are also known as essential oils. So these three names, they are named as three names, or three names are there in order to describe the volatile oils coming under terpenoids. Volatile oils, then they are called ethereal oils and also as essential oils. So on the whole, they are from plant and animal source. They can be obtained from various parts of the plants like petals, flower petals, fruits, leaves, barks, wood, etc. They are commonly found in various species of the families like Labiataceae, Rutaceae, Piperaceae, Gingiveraceae, Umbelliferae, Myrtaceae, Lauraceae, etc. They are present in entire plant or in any part of the plant. They are secreted in special structures like duct, cell, schizogenous or schizolysogenous glands, and also they are available or they are present in trichomes, that is glandular trichomes. Particularly in glandular trichomes they are available. Next I am going to discuss about the properties. In properties, physical properties and chemical properties, they are soluble in alcohol, ether and other lipid solvents and practically insoluble in water. Since oil is there, this oil naturally it is insoluble in water. Likewise volatile oil is also insoluble in water but soluble in alcohol, ether and other lipid solvents. They are usually lighter than water except clove oil. Clove oil, here clove oil is heavier than water. They possess characteristic odor and they have high refractive index and most of them are optically active. So not all but most of them are optically active. Chemically they are derived from terpenes and they are oxygenated compounds. They are made up of isoprene units C5H8 and are usually monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes and diterpenoids or diterpenes with empirical formula as C5H8, C10H16, C15H24 and C20H32 respectively. So diterpenoid is C20H32. Sesquiterpene is C15H24. With the exception of oils derived from glycosides. So here I want to tell you that some exceptions are there, that oils are also derived from glycosides. Two examples are there, bitter almond oil and mustard oil. These are the glycoside. Bitter almond and mustard is glycoside, although it is glycoside. Some oils are also being extracted from these compounds or these plants. Volatile oils are generally a mixture of hydrocarbons and they are oxygenated compounds or they are oxygenated derivatives. In some oils, for example oil of turpentine, the hydrocarbons predominate. Since it is a mixture of hydrocarbons and their oxygenated derivatives, oxygenated compounds or derivatives, in case of turpentine oil, the hydrocarbons predominate, the portion or the percentage of hydrocarbon is more and only limited amounts of oxygenated constituents are present. In others, So this is the exception where in turpentine oil, chemically if we see or if we analyze, we will come to know that turpentine contains more hydrocarbons and less oxygenated constituents. But in others, like oils of cloves, the bulk of the oil consists of oxygenated compounds. So here, in case of clove oils, oxygenated derivatives or oxygenated compounds is more. The odor and taste of volatile oil is mainly determined by these oxygenated constituents, because we will come to know that in various species or in various plant products or even fruits, the odor and taste specific, it is, the odor and taste is pleasant, always aromatic. So due to the presence of more oxygenated constituents, which are generally soluble in water, like orange flower water, rose water, etc. These are the two examples, easy examples, but more soluble in alcohol. Tinctures of tinctures or essence of lemon, that is more soluble in alcohol. Next, two chemical tests are there in order to identify the presence of volatile oil. Number one is, to the thin section of the drug, add alcoholic solution of Sudan 3. This is to be prepared. Sudan 3 in alcohol, a solution is being prepared and it is treated with the drug, thin section of the drug. Red color is obtained by globules. Formation of globules of red color indicate the presence of volatile oils. Second one, here to the thin section of the drug, add a drop of tincture alkane. This is the tincture alkane. Red color indicates the presence of volatile oil. Next, we should know about simple way the chemistry of volatile oil. All the volatile oils are the compounds of carbon and hydrogen. In my previous slide, I have shown you that this volatile oil is a mixture of this one. It is a mixture of hydrocarbons and their oxygenated compounds. So in chemistry it is also says that compounds of carbon and hydrogen, and most of them also contains oxygen. Since the essential oil constitutes carbon and hydrogen, they are described as hydrocarbons known as terpenes. So due to the presence of these hydrocarbons, they are known as terpenes. So from these terpenes, they are categorized as monoterpene, sesquiterpene, diterpene, triterpene, tetraterpene, like this. The constituents containing oxygen may be grouped as the alcohol, aldehydes, ketones, lactones, acids and esters, and a few of them may contain nitrogen or sulfur or both. This is very few. Some of the volatile oils shows an acid reaction which denotes the presence of acid or phenols. So here it says that phenol. The compounds of the essential oils are frequently phenols, and they are phenolic ethers or aldehydes such as thymol, cinnamaldehyde, anethol and eugenol. About the various uses of volatile oils. Volatile oils are used as flavoring agents, perfuming agents in pharmaceutical formulations. In various pharmaceutical formulations, these volatile oils or essential oils are being used. They are also used in foods, beverage and cosmetics. Besides that, they are also used as medicinal agents because they have some medicinal properties such as carminatives. For example, umbelliferous fruits, cinnamon bark, etc. They are also anthelmintic in nature. For example, chenopodium oil, diuretic in nature, juniper oil, antiseptic, eucalyptus oil, which is being extracted out from eucalyptus leaf, counter irritant, for example, oil of wintergreen, local anesthetics like from clove oil is being used in case of toothache. They are also used as local anesthetics in case of dentistry. They are also used as sedatives, for example Jotamon C, local irritant, turpentine, etc. Except that citronella oil, although it is obtained from plant source, citronella oil is an insect repellent and they are not used as medicinal agents but used as insect repellent, whereas lemongrass oil is used as the starting material or precursor for extracting the citral content and also used for the synthesis of vitamin A. Terpeneless oils are valuable perfuming and flavoring agents. So in case of or in the industrial use or industry in a huge amount when they are prepared, terpeneless oils are valuable perfuming agents and flavoring agents. Then we will see about the extraction of volatile oils, how these volatile oils are being extracted out from the different parts of the plants or animals. So here we are dealing with the extraction of volatile oils from plant source from various parts of the plants like leaf, bark, flower petals, wood, etc. So volatile oils are extracted by hydrodistillation. Hydro means water. So here water and steam, that is coming under hydrodistillation, because in both the cases water is necessary for the extraction process, for the distillation process. Another method, that is solvent extraction, and other methods like mechanical means, by mechanically or sometimes by mechanical means such as enfluerage and equally techniques. These are the two mechanical methods. And supercritical fluid extraction, this is another latest development of the or technology for the extraction of volatile oil by using supercritical fluid. Water distillation used for dry plant material which is not decomposed on boiling. So here there are some dry plant materials like leaf, bark, wood, they are not decomposed. When they are not decomposed on boiling, it is frequently used by water distillation method. Water and steam both, in both cases water and steam distillation is used for air dried or fresh parts which decompose on boiling. There is cinnamon and clove. So these two are being extracted for getting the volatile oil. Water and steam distillation method is being used. Direct steam distillation is used for fresh plant drugs like peppermint. So this is a direct steam distillation, not even adding water or anything else. Tough materials like bark, seed and roots may be comminuted means they are pulverized, or either pulverized or they may be cut into small pieces, so that because these are the tough materials, sometimes seeds may be so hard, bark is hard and roots are hard, that is why they are to be cut into pieces to facilitate the extraction. But flowers are usually placed in the still means this distillation still, without further treatment as soon as possible after collection. After collection, these flowers may be placed in the distillation still. After collection, they are usually placed in the distillation still and volatile oil is being extracted. So extraction of volatile oil, the process how it is being done to fetch the distillate, which consists of a mixture of oil and water, because in the distillation process in the still we use generally the materials of the plants as well as water, and it is heated. So ultimately when we get that is called distillate, which is nothing but a mixture of oil and water. This oil and water, mixture of oil and water, is condensed because it is cooled down. Without cooling, that cannot be separated out. Oil and water. Oil, since it is lighter than water, it will always remain in the upper part of the container or the collector, or the you can say that collector of oils, and collected in a suitable receiver, which is usually a large glass jar with one outlet near the base and another near the top. So two outlets are there. The distillate separates into two layers. The oil, being lighter than water, is withdrawn through the upper outlet and the water from the lower outlet, or vice versa. So two outlets are there. One is near the base and another near the top. Since oil is lighter than water, it is to be collected from the or through the upper outlet, and water is collected from the lower outlet. But in case of clove oil, which is heavier than water, this process reverse. Since clove oil is heavier than water, it will be remain in the lower side, and in the upper side water will be there. So in that case, that is being separated out. The oil saturated aqueous layer may be returned to the still, or may form an article of commerce, as in case of rose water and orange flower water. So in case of commercially rose water and orange flower water, that can be easily separated out because that is soluble in alcohol, and ultimately this is being saturated aqueous layer, that is nothing but the collection of or mixture of rose water and orange flower water, when these two substances are being taken or these two raw materials are being taken. Certain oils like caraway oil and turpentine oil, and another example is oil of Australian sandalwood oil, are rectified. Rectified means this is a second distillation process. Rectification usually takes the form of a second distillation in steam, which frees the oil from resinous and other impurities. So that is why it is called a rectification or rectified caraway oil, rectified turpentine oil, and rectified oil of Australian sandalwood. The complete isolation of oil is not possible in hydrodistillation method, because this is the most disadvantage of hydrodistillation method. The complete isolation of oil is not possible. But in case of water and steam distillation process, the decomposition of oil is less, and it also requires less time, less fuel, and volatile oil is more. So compared to these hydrodistillation, previously I have told you that hydrodistillation belongs to water and steam distillation. Here water and steam distillation, if it is done separately, that the decomposition of oil is less, and it requires less fuel, less time, and the volatile oil yield is more. Direct steam distillation produces best yields. So one example I have given: peppermint from the Mentha peperita leaf or entire plant. Direct steam distillation process is being adopted. So direct steam distillation produces best yields and the purest oils. Large quantities of volatile oil is produced with much human labor. Another two methods are there, like enfleurage method and Écoulé method. These are the two mechanical method. And let me discuss about the enfleurage method. This is the method of extraction with non-volatile solvent within aid of heat, is also known as absorption method. Here in case of the infrared method. This is also called as absorption method because it requires non-volatile solvent with an add of heat. Heat is necessary, and this method is particularly used commercially in order to get or extraction of delicate perfumes. The fresh flower petals are spread. Suppose flower petals, rose petals. As for example, rose petal, the fresh flower petals are spread on a layer of fatty material because here heat is necessary because it has to be previously these fatty materials slab, or you can say with a thickness of 3 millimeter thickness, fatty material is being heated so that it will be liquefied, and flower petals are spread on that liquid fatty materials known as enfluare. The flower petals are allowed to imbibe. This is the process of imbibition by which the volatile oil present in the flower petals are leached into the fatty material. That is called imbibition. Allowed to imbibe, and the exhausted petals, when the volatile oils are already gone or leached out from the material to the fatty materials, they become exhausted. So the exhausted petals are again replaced by fresh petals. The process is continued till the fatty layer is saturated with sufficient amount of oil. So in the process, how we can know the fatty material is saturated with sufficient amount of oil? So ultimately skilled labor is necessary for knowing the saturation of sufficient amount of oil in fatty layer. Then they are extracted with lipid solvent like alcohol. This fatty layer, because it is saturated with sufficient amount of oil, they are to be extracted with lipid solvent like alcohol, so that the since volatile oil which is being mixed with the fatty layer, since alcohol is the soluble material, or the volatile oil is soluble in alcohol, they are to be extracted or they are to be separated, the volatile oil, and the volatile oil thus obtained is mixed with alcohol used as perfumes. So this method is infrared method is generally used for commercial purpose in order to get, or in order to extract the perfumes, or in order to extract the volatile oils which are generally used as perfumes. Another method, that is Equilli method. This method is used for the extraction of citrus oil. Citrus oil means generally orange oil and lemon oil, because they are obtained from the citrus fruits like lemon and orange, and these oils are present in the oil glands, that is called rind, present in the inner portion of the pericarp of citrus fruits or the peels. So this method is used for the extraction of citrus oil, wherein oil cells glands which are present in the rind of the inner portion of the pericarp of citrus fruits, they are being ruptured or punctured mechanically, manually or mechanically, using pointed projections. So how these pointed projections are being obtained? Because a bowl having pointed projections, so that is needle like projections, so that they can puncture or rupture the oil glands which are present in the rind of the inner portion of the pericarp of citrus fruits by twisting the raw material. Here raw material is lemon oil, lemon peel or orange peel, and by twisting raw material over them in clockwise direction, either mechanically or manually. Third process, that is solvent extraction process. Here succinylate apparatus is necessary, and volatile oils can be obtained by expression or extraction with suitable solvents in a succinylate apparatus. The generally succinylate apparatus is necessary, and continuous heat and continuous water supply it is to be required for the continuous hot extraction process by succinylate apparatus. The succinylate apparatus, the assemble of succinylate apparatus, it contains one round bottom flask connected with the extraction chamber. Extraction chamber consists of a thimble made up of that is blotting paper, or you can say that filter paper, and it contains the pulverized or powdered the drug material. And this extraction chamber is connected with the condenser, and condenser is required in order to cool down the oil and water, the oil and water mixture. Again, by siphonic process, again that water and oil generally comes to again round bottom flask, and this process is continuous. That is why it is also called as hot continuous extraction process. Then the last one is supercritical fluid extraction. This is a newer method or latest technology in order to save the time as well as less although less time consuming. Another one less contents or less requirement of various solvents. This method has greater applications for separating the volatile oil components which are either degraded by heat or produces poor quality oils due to varied reasons. So this is the two advantages, that either the drug, if they are being degraded or decomposed by heat and produces poor quality of oils, in that case supercritical fluid extraction is being encouraged. It is having great significance for making the terpene-less oils. This is a very good demand in the market, terpene-less oils, because less terpene means less hydrocarbons. And I have told you in my, I have given some hints about the terpene-less oils means less hydrocarbons. When hydrocarbon is less, it is less pungent. More oxygenated derivatives or oxygenated compounds are there, then it is of pleasant smell and aromatic smell. So that is why this supercritical fluid extraction process is being encouraged in order to get terpene-less volatile oils. So best example of supercritical fluid is carbon dioxide, although it is a solid, but dry ice, it is although a solid, it is also commonly used because it is bacteriostatic, non-conductive and non-explosive agent. Although it is not a chemical agent, but agent mostly used as supercritical fluid. This carbon dioxide is most commonly used in the process of supercritical fluid extraction. This is all about volatile oils. Thanks a lot for watching this video patiently. In my next video or next video, I will discuss about the various drugs which are coming under volatile oils or volatile oil containing drugs. Thanks a lot.